Hey there, my name is Pravus, and welcome to more Kingdoms Reborn in New Jokyo, and what I assume is going to be the finale for this series, as we are now well and truly into the industrial age, proven by our mastery of electricity, and also making things like toilet paper or electronic gadgets that are based off of certain devices we all know and love. It's looking pretty good here in New Jokyo, except for one particular problem, right? Our population still struggles a little bit. It's huge, dropping fast, but it's huge, and thus our food consumption is also huge. And if we do not do something about this fairly soon, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. The obvious solution is just to buy more food. Although, of course, the more food we buy, it's not like the prices aren't skyrocketing or anything. Inflation's looking pretty bad out here. We're kind of eating up everything made in the world. One alternative solution to using up our valuable labor in New Jokyo in order to make more food and farm it is instead to look toward colonialism as a solution, right? We can go for, let's say, some high fertility regions, if I can find some, like down over here. This isn't too far away. We could do this. And then set up a new little colony right over here in the New World and start transporting goods back and forth. A whole new population, a whole new town to worry about, growing loads of rice and plums and doing nothing but sending that back to the main city, like tributaries into a grand river. And I think that is exactly what we are going to do. Now, first things first, we do need to get a trading port because I no longer have one, haven't had one for a very long while. But you need these, unfortunately, if you're going to do any colonial efforts, so we'll go ahead and get these things set up, upgraded just for the heck of it so it looks good, and there we go. The next thing we want to be doing is placing down an intercity logistics port. We are going to need at least one of these. That said, until I place down the colony, maybe we don't have access. Fair enough, hold on. Now we go over here then. And what we're going to do is go to the build menu and set up a port colony, because I don't want to have a regular colony. We're not going to be setting these things up to attach by road or anything. So can I fit this anywhere? Is this going to work? Like right here, for example. Would this be okay? Sure, do this. Boom, we now have a colony. For good measure, I shall name it Dedo. There we go. Now back in New Jokyo, we can set up some intercity logistics like this. And what we've just done is now set up things where the two cities will be able to talk to each other and trade resources back and forth. So over here, what I want to do is say, from New Jokyo, I want you to take some resources, not just any food. I specifically want you to take things like the ramen and the sushi. Don't take the raw goods, only take this stuff. Also, we don't have enough medicine to go around, so tell you what, take some medicinal herbs. And no stone tools, thank you very much. Take some iron tools. For now, we'll say we want to just take this amount of food, so keep taking it from the city until you get to this level. Perfect. And I actually need to set up another one of these, because that's not enough trade. There we go. Reason being, I would like to also import a few luxuries just to make these people happy. So let's say some furniture and some sake and some tulips or something would be just fine. And just in case we end up needing some heat for some reason, let's go ahead and import a small amount of coal. Okay, and with that done, we'll go ahead and buy out a few nearby zones, because I can. And now we need to plan out a whole new city. It's just like starting from scratch, except we have access to a lot of powerful cards. Also, quick build. Quick build makes life nice and easy. Okay, so in theory, these guys are going to have all their basic needs taken care of just by the main city. So now they need to start earning their keep. And what we'll start with, of course, is just like farming out some rice nearby. And of course, we have access to things like the granaries and stuff right off the bat, which means we can get these guys to be nice and efficient super early on. And let's set up a few farms. There we go. All right, and for good measure, we should do a couple other things for quality of life. Would not be a bad plan to get myself, let's say, an immigration office, just so we can encourage some faster population growth in our new city. And also a trading company, because this means I'll be able to just buy a few important things and not have to worry about setting up another one of these intercity logistics ports. I could buy things like food, but I'm thinking things like, stone, and also things like bricks and glass. Stuff that I really don't want to have a whole port operating just to import these. Why not just make it mysteriously appear here instead? Way faster. And as winter comes to an end, here comes one of those boats. It's going to get dropped off, and There we go. We now have luxuries to go around. Oh, we should turn off burning all of our fuel and stuff. Hopefully these guys aren't going to get too cold. We'll keep an eye on this. If I do need to do that, that's fine. But there we go. So this is one reason, by the way, it's really important you don't set up your colonies so that they're super far away from your main city. Like, if I wanted to set up over here, for example, I had considered it because I did see that there were a lot of fertile zones over here. But if I did that, guess what would happen? That's right. The boats would go all the way around the colony, and dropping off resources would take absolutely forever. Anyway, back here in New Jokyo, what we'll do is say, hey, if they've got any rice at all, import the stuff. They're not allowed to keep their rice. We're using that to make the better stuff. I'm going to keep an eye over here. Both boats are arriving. Boom, boom, and there we go. Now we have food. See how easy this is? And now, in theory, I shouldn't even have to auto-trade any food. I mean, we'll keep an eye on this to make sure this doesn't go down too much, but yeah, if I can avoid, consuming too much of this food, we're good. This just got really easy. And if we really want to, we could start fishing for some extra immigration cards, just to go ahead and kind of instantly boost up the population here a little bit more, like that. Or, of course, we could, receive more immigrants from the city, but I really don't feel like messing with this right now. I want New Jokyo to continue being an industrial powerhouse. And let's not forget we can upgrade the town hall over here. So if I want to, we can now go back over here to New Jokyo, buy some cards, and get some more specialized upgrades. The entire point of going for the colonies is just so you're going to be able to get more specialized economies. That's it. Here we go. All this rice is now being sent over here, and what we should find is that New Jokyo is going to come and pick it up and bring it over. So we'll keep an eye on that, and as long as that works the way I think it will, we're good. If not, I'm going to get very disappointed. And actually, there we go. We can see the ship is on its way, thanks to the little plumb bob hanging over its head, and boom, we just dropped off 2,000 more rice. Nice. And now our population over here can grow fairly unimpeded, and as long as their basic needs are taken care of, I don't have to worry about anything over in New Jokyo. Also, if there were a death spiral, which is not going to happen, but if there were a death spiral, they could just, send some immigrants back or something like that and repopulate the planet. It'd be fine. Hey, let's go ahead and research that Golden Palace, by the way. We have more than 80 level 8 houses. Oh, that's beautiful. That's great. Means we're actually really close to the end of the game here. An oil rig. Sure, if I can find some oil, I will happily take advantage of that. Oil. I crave oil. Where can I find it? There is some oil down over this way. All right. That's too far for me to do anything with. Is there anything in my territory? No, of course it's not. Could set up a colony just for the process of getting some oil. I mean, that's an option down over here. Just make it into an oil rig town thing, yeah. Or we take a slightly lazier approach and just buy a resource outpost, maybe a couple of them. We already know these guys have fairly high upkeep, which is why this is not the most cost-effective option, but you know what would be really annoying is setting up a whole new colony just for this. So if I can find a way to... Oh, gosh, dang it. It's not going to let me set this up, is it? There's not enough space in these freaking tiles. It's fine. It doesn't actually matter if it's close. It'll instantly teleport. So we'll just go ahead and set up that right there. Boom. We're now producing oil. And this means I can now set up one of my oil power plants. And we need input right now, but once that starts piling in, thanks to our resource outposts, we are going to have a more effective method of power generation. We should be able to make another 50 kilowatts with less labor, only slightly, I should say. I actually thought this was going to be a bit better than this. 50 kilowatts. That's it? Really? I think that maybe the oil just produces more. Like, you need less input in order to make it work. Something like that. Now, in the meantime, while we work on all this and let things start gradually building themselves out, let's think about some of these wonders, right? We want to get things like the Great Buddha statue to start off. That was the first one, I believe, which grants 73 victory score. Not that the points really matter or anything. This is just like whose line is it anyway. The points are made up, and nothing really matters at the end of the day. But let's go ahead and build a gigantic Buddha shrine next to all of our fishing docks. This is going to take a lot of stone and a lot of bricks. 95,000 gold. Oh, wow. I'm out of money. Wait a minute. How did I get out of... How did I run out of money? Hold on. We are buying too much stuff. We are not actually exporting enough, it looks like. Yeah, this profit is getting eaten up very quickly by the various different things that we apparently need. Oh, dear. All right, am I overproducing anything else that I can start selling in larger quantities? Sure, chocolate comes to mind. That's enough to get me a lot of extra profit. Sell some extra furniture, some extra sake and stuff. Okay, we need to keep an eye on that. If we let that get out of control and I run out of cash, that's going to feel really, really, really stupid. We can also sell some extra clothes and candles and stuff. That'd be fine. Somehow we're still not making anywhere near enough toilet paper. It does seem like that is one of the most popular luxuries I produce. Really can't say I'm surprised, though. Somehow my food is actually going up a pretty good amount here. That's interesting. It seems that even though this looks bad from a consumption perspective, we're somehow able to keep above on this. I think it's just because of how much we're buying. We're not producing enough, but we're buying a deficit of like 17,000 food a year. That is a lot, isn't it? Okay, and now the shrine is in work. Beautiful. We wanted to get to the Himeji Palace, right? Let's go ahead and learn about World Trade Offices. I can use these to manipulate the crud out of the market. And by crashing the price of certain things that I'm buying a lot of, that actually might be well worth it for me. And there's my shrine. Okay, that's done. Now I get some extra score. And oh, by clicking on this, we can actually see things. Hooray, my total score. Happiness score is really high. Wonder score is basically irrelevant, but you know, yeah, I feel really good about my decision to go ahead and get extra points from wonders instead of population. So what was the next wonder? Ah, the pagoda. Okay. Hold the phone. Let's find that pagoda. There you are. 19,000 gold to buy this. But there we go. We can place that right along over here. I guess this will be our Alley of Wonders or something. Downside of this thing is it needs 2,000 freaking stone. It's the problem with the wonders, man. They cost kind of a lot. Good thing I'm making healthy profits. Let's just buy lots and lots and lots of stone. Let me go ahead and get some electricity on all my ramen and sushi shops just so they work a lot faster with what we've got. And now the work speed is actually kind of reasonable. That's actually very helpful. And now we have that World Trade Office. Okay. I mean, I like the extra income and all of that, but let's just go ahead and start the research for the Himeji Palace. 300 research is still going to take a while, even at this stage of the game. And in the meantime, would I like to buy a World Trade Office? As a matter of fact, I think I would. So now we enter into a whole new area of the game. The one where I start manipulating the world's prices. This is expensive as frick, and I'm just going to do it immediately. Boom! There we go. All right. Do we want to increase the price of something? Yes, actually. What's something that I actively export a stupid amount of? Well, we're starting to even out on things like chocolate and so on, but we're holding pretty steady on stuff like sake and such. So we could start improving the price for some of our exports like the sake. And that just means that we'll make more gold over time. It's going to go up by 5%, so we're just going to start crashing that. So yeah, that's one thing. And then as far as the imports, I feel like we're constantly importing things like the pork. So if we want to go ahead and start crashing that, that could be an option. So just as an experiment, over time, every cycle, I want you to increase the price of sake by 5%. I'm not even allowed to import this. All I'm doing is basically having a monopoly in the world market. And then if you guys want my glorious plum sake, you're going to have to pay ridiculous sums. And then over here, yeah, we're going to go ahead and crash the price of the pork. I don't know, by the way, if it is a thing where if you crash one of the food supplies, like the rest start going down as well, because they all rise together. So if one crashes, does the rest go down? That'd be amazing, yet somehow I doubt it is the case. But I'm literally watching the price of pork go down, and actually, no, wait, all the foods are going down. What? Is this actually working? Are we evening out the world's food costs? Did I just solve inflation? Oh my god, I'm literally watching my profit. Well, it's going down now, but it was starting to skyrocket. Oh my god. I think this is gonna work. No, this isn't quite working as much as I was hoping it was going to. Yeah, the price skyrockets back up. It really is just that it's trending down naturally over time, but the more I import, it just keeps going right back up. Still, over time, this is going to have a small impact. I do think that's going to be somewhat helpful. Sake is... I'm not even seeing a trend, if I'm honest. Is there a reason you're not doing what I tell you to? You're not actually increasing the price of sake. Food is definitely going up, by the way. I'm watching this happen, and I actually think that a big part of it is that the importation from Dedo is working. I mean, heck, even over here, I can see what the product has been over the last couple of years. We've got another 6,000 rice and 3,000 plums just sitting here waiting to be used. So, yeah, this does seem to be working very nicely. And the pagoda is done. I didn't even notice that. Beautiful. Look at you. All right, let's go ahead and mix things up. Golden Palace will be the next one for us. This one actually will be easier to do than you would think. Where do I want to place this beautiful thing? How about right over here next to all of the candles? So it can be illuminated in majesty. It's going to take a lot of concrete and a stupid number of gold bars. But I do technically produce gold bars, so this is sort of okay. It's gonna take a long time to build this palace up, isn't it? The good news is, though, if built, we're gonna get an extra 20% gold from all luxury consumption. Again, of which we have kind of a lot. So I'm looking forward to that. Where should I place the Himeji Palace? How about up over here, actually? I just feel like somewhere out over here in the middle of the woods would look kind of good. Oh, that's a lot of concrete. Amazingly, no gold bars and other stuff, but some glass bricks, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, all very expensive resources. Things we don't produce. Weirdly enough, I've gone this entire game without producing a single brick, or any glass, or anything along those lines. And I don't regret that decision whatsoever. Gosh dang, autosave, always slowing down the game. This is going to cost 1 million gold worth of material to build. Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, there we go. Golden Palace is now in work. I love, by the way, just like everyone stands in the same place. It just looks like a many-armed monster wailing away at this thing. Look at how go! Ah, build the palace faster! It's fine, though. I mean, with all of them working, it's like every few seconds I'm saving myself 10,000 gold, which is nice. I do like that. By the way, I'm working on the final tech necessary to win the game. That would be the victory score. Once you build all 4 types of wonders, the game simply is going to come to an end. We are now working on all 4 wonders, so we're almost there. So we're currently at about 17,000 gold, which, by the way, is because the economic theory is getting an extra 20% house income. With the Golden Palace done, that jumps up to 26,000. There we go. Oh, doesn't that look very pretty? I mean, it's sort of zen. I don't know. For some reason, this sort of screams a little bit swampier to me than it should be, but I'll bet you in person it's magnificent. All right. With that done, our wonder score jumps up to 2,144. Now, we just wait for the Himeji Palace. And I actually have almost all the resources I need, with the exception of a lot of concrete. There is a solution to this, of course. It's called buy a lot more concrete. This is going to be very, very expensive, though. Since it looks like the price of pork isn't actually being affected very much by my World Trade Office, disappointment, let's try reducing the cost of said concrete. And Sake, did anything improve with you literally at all? Nope. All right, forget that with the increasing of prices there. Surely there's something else. You know what? For the heck of it, we're going to go ahead and just boost up the cost of electronic gadgets. Am I selling them? No. But we can make the whole world jealous. It's like Apple products, you know? The brand name recognition is a real thing, and we'll be able to command a pretty penny. Not that I'm going to sell them to the outside world at all, right? I mean, at some point, this is kind of like, we're the Hermit Kingdom or whatever. We're not going to sell to the outside world. They can all just go pout in the corner. But the prestige of owning an extremely valuable Switch, I think it's worth something. Huh. You know, if I wanted to, I could just end the game right now. Like literally right now. Just spend the money. Just win. Just win the game, right? Yeah. That is probably actually the right thing to do. So let's just, you know, take a quick little look around and just remind myself of what we've done and how far we've come and how amazing this is, right? So how are we looking on food? We're jumping up. Got 93,000 food. Not that long ago, I couldn't maintain that much, so we call this to be pretty good. Big part of it being, I am producing rice, plums, deep-sea tuna, and I'm producing pork over in Dedo. All of that is getting delivered over here. We have a lot of food just sitting over here waiting to be used. That is fantastic. If anything, what I should be doing is getting some hauling services and sending this more toward the center of the city, but at this point, it no longer matters. We should be producing plenty of various different luxury resources, so I've got enough tier 1s, tier 2s, and tier 3s in order to make a very, very happy and very wealthy population. forget just the profit in terms of, like, actually selling goods. We actually are amazingly losing that profit right now, but that's because we're buying an absolute ton of stuff. But I'm making so much money in, like, import tariffs and everything else just from people using their luxuries. It doesn't matter. We're making tons of money there, too. So, like, we're stupidly wealthy. I can't believe it, but we finally did hit that critical mass, and even on immortal difficulty, we have taken it down. Let's go ahead and immediately build the Himeji Palace. Bada 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 boom! There it is. It looks beautiful. I'll give it that. Score, 7,182. Pretty decent population. We ended up having over 1,000 in New Jokyo alone. Actually kind of hovered around this number for a while here. Happiness score is looking great. Everyone idolizes me as some sort of a god emperor. Money score, not great, which is amazing to me considering how much money I've had, but that's fine. Tech, pretty good. And wonder score, blah, blah, blah. Wait a minute, how did I get the score victory and just, like, end the game if I haven't got the tech? Okay, well, apparently, you win the game even if you don't have this tech. Hey, it's fine. Just imagine I had an extra 1,000 points on my final score, and that's effectively where we did end up. Kingdoms Reborn, everybody. It is still a fun game. Yes, I know I complained a little bit about the difficulty and stuff, but as we proved with Immortal difficulty, it certainly can be done. It takes a while, but it can be done, and once you hit that critical mass or you just make stupid amounts of money, you can kind of do whatever you want, and it's almost as if the game is back on easy mode. Deity difficulty, harder, just takes a lot longer to get to that point, but again, once you hit that critical mass, you're going to be able to do whatever you want. So just keep paying attention to the basics, focus on trade, specialize your economy, and you can absolutely dominate. At the end of the day, I kind of like the Shogunate faction. I thought they were pretty fun. The extra luxury production is very good, can set us up to make a lot of money. The unique resources are pretty fun, and all that stuff. Yeah, I thought they were solid. What I'm really hoping the devs are going to continue working on this game is building out multiplayer and trying to make this a competitive scene so that people want to play this. It needs to be as seamless as possible. But even if you're not going to have multiplayer, I would love to see the AI for the game just get boosted in some way or another, you know? Have them actually be a challenge. Imagine I was playing this on immortal difficulty, but I actually had to worry about enemy armies at the gate, right? That's the one thing that we didn't have to worry about. It's almost like I was playing on peaceful AI. But these are all things that can be improved in the future. In the meantime, thank you all very much for watching this series. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.